Okay, how do I start?
Hello everybody, this is another Honda Element video. Today we're gonna replace the bushings for this Honda Element.
That was good. You did good. Do it
Thank you.
again. Welcome to another Honda Element repair video. I am here with Miguel. He's at my shop, Element 44. So what we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna replace all three bushings. All the knuckle bushings on this vehicle, we're gonna switch them out. This vehicle is mine, by the way. And the reason for this is because, obviously mine's fairly lifted. I abuse the crap out of this car, and it puts up with it. It puts up with it, but obviously now it's starting to squeak a little bit. One other thing Miguel had noticed, this control arm. I remember hitting it at some point the last time we went off-roading. I hit it pretty hard. I didn't notice it, but I tweaked it. This thing is really bent. A lot of elements, or 99% of them, have all the sway bar links connected, right? Sway bars connected. I don't run a sway bar front or rear, so I don't have to worry about this step, but this step actually is necessary. So one of the first things when you go to loosen everything up, you actually want to take off one of your end links, or both. You can just take each side off and let your sway bar do its thing, let it move freely, because when you go to do this job, you want this to move independently. Once you get everything done, then that's the last thing you tighten back up, your sway bar links. So we'll start off with the brake line, 12 millimeters. Move that out of the way. Then we'll do the 14 millimeters for the caliper. What we'll do right now is we'll just loosen this up. Loosen that up. All right, we'll loosen this up. That's on there. Okay, so a lot of elements suffer from this where it is stuck, it's seized, and I will be replacing these bolts down here as well, just for future. So there's an eccentric bolt here, and that's the one we want to replace. They're fairly inexpensive, but because they live in this area of the vehicle, they do get rusted out fairly quick. So one thing I do recommend, see, that one's stuck. This one's gonna be an issue for sure. One thing I do recommend is, if yours is still able to move freely and you've never replaced it, replace this bolt. It'll just help in the future. The alignment guy will be happy.
Joseph Elements has a lift, that's why there are two spacers over there.
Yeah.
But most likely you won't have that if you are not lifted.
Yeah, if it's not lifted, you won't have those. All right, so that's that. We'll loosen this up.
Joseph, I think one of the jobs that most Element owner needs is this job that you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's one of those jobs that, due to the mileage and the wear and tear on the suspension, this is going to be one of the next things that most people are going to need done to their vehicles. It's not an easy job. It does take at least, 6-8 hours for us to complete. I mean, we can do it faster, obviously, but we kind of take our time doing it, make sure everything comes out correctly, everything goes in smoothly. Also, depending on the lift that you have, if you have a lift, it will be a little more difficult to do. So if it's all stock height, no biggie. But when it's lifted, obviously we have to fight with that sucker and everything else that's at a crazier angle. So yeah, it is one of those things that all of us are going to need to get done at some point. This vehicle only has 130,000 miles, and the bushings are already going out due to the lift. They're OEM bushings, but I wouldn't recommend anything else. OEM bushings are in my opinion, the best for this. And I mean, you can go aftermarket. Don't recommend it, but you can go aftermarket. There is polyurethane bushings. If you want to do the job 2 or 3 times, go with those. OEM bushings. Just do it once. Like you've said, Miguel, buy once, cry once. Pero this still sucks.
Good. There you go, bro.
If you can still move this one, take it out and replace the Spider-Man such. It's a good idea to replace them because look, they get rusted.
Yeah.
So that's where ours was stuck. Well, this one was stuck right here in this area. All right, so we have to loosen up our axle. 32 mils on this one. That one should come loose. Should be able to move that one. All right, that moved. All right, so we'll do that. That just... this off carefully, because the one thing you don't want to do is pull on your axle. So as you're pulling this out little by little, you push this axle back in. If I didn't pop it out yet. All right, yeah.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
So in order for us not to invest too much time into this for video purposes, my axle is not popping off of this. I hit it multiple times and it's not popping out all the way. So the reason why I like to take the nut off to be able to push this axle in is because when you're working with this, moving it around, you have less of a chance of tearing the boots or pulling this out of its socket. So I'll just be careful with it. Make sure I don't move it around too much. But yeah, if you're able to loosen up your axle just so it can move freely, great. In my case, can't do it. It's fine, not a big deal. I'll just be careful with it. So yeah, because we need to remove those. All right, so that one's ripped. Oh, that was easy. Actually worn out, and you could see where it started squeaking from. So see how this area is polished? Because it's making contact metal to metal here. And it polished up the area, it took the rubber off. This is the rubber that wore off. And yeah, that's why when you have squeaky suspension, a lot of the times it's because of these bushings back here. So now we got to cut this very carefully. Okay, so with the air jack, this will come off. Sometimes it's best to get it off this way. If it's all worn out, then that way it'll go out. But since this one's still good, or not good, since it still had its full face, it'll pop out this way. So what I end up doing is I end up cutting 2 slits. 2 slits on it. Now we can break the sleeve, the metal sleeve, so it can relieve some of that pressure. We'll be doing the same thing for the next one. So this bushing is going to come out this way. There's a sleeve that is a one-way that way. So I'm going to cut 2 slits to relieve the pressure. Try not to cut into the knuckle itself. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It just depends how much you cut. So we'll do 2 slits. try not to get into the knuckle. Get that. There we go. The next step, once the bushings get popped out, I like to just clean them up with this. I'll hit it with some paint. I'll paint the entire inside on both, outside just a little bit. All right. Part of the tool to push up against there. So now that that's in place, perfect. All right, so then obviously this has a notch. The notch on this one kind of goes facing down. Same angle, similar angle to this. So that's what you want to do. Press it in by hand as much as we can. And then we'll be done with both the bottom ones. So the eccentric bolt, I like to put some grease, a lot of grease, too much grease on it, just to prevent it from rusting out. There we go. Perfect. Right, so now that the two bottom bushings are installed, now we can do the top one, the final one. So with this one, I like to do is, now that we loosened up the caliper, take that off. Perfect. Oh, battery's dead. Oh, perfect. Sweet. All right, bushings are in, trailing arms in, new control arms are in. This wasn't as easy as YouTube makes it look, but we got it done. So other side's done as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. When you put new bushings in, obviously you want to have load on the vehicle. Thankfully, we can do that because we're on a lift. Put the lift up, put the jack underneath, apply some load on it, tie these down or button these down. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we got this done. Getting it ready for the cross-country trip to North Carolina for the elements on the Dragon. So one less thing I have to worry about.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for all the hard work.
A lot of work. A lot of work.
That was a lot of work.
Yeah. So as you can tell, I'm all sweaty.
Yeah, and then if anybody wants to contact you to do this kind of job, where are you located? Where is your shop at?
Shop location here in San Bernardino. Address, everything is on the website. There is a phone number as well. You guys can text that number, please. And yeah, we'll schedule an appointment in advance, see what day works best for you guys, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So thank you, Miguel.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So hopefully this helps out someone. So
all right, bro.
Yeah.
Time to go to
Time to go.
relax.
I know, I'm tired.
It's been a rough week.
It's been a rough week. So.